Hello and welcome to the channel. If you're not a regular viewer, as if I have any of those, then just a quick recap. So not too long ago I was out on a group ride. I was very near to the end of the ride and a furry feline ran in front of me. My front tire made contact, giving me the gift of flight, sending me over the bars and resulting in me making contact with the asphalt. The end result left me with a broken collarbone and a very long road to recovery. So after the first week of recovery, I had my bike set up on a magnet type resistance trainer and I tried to get some exercise done. This was obviously very challenging because I needed to keep the shoulder very still. So I wouldn't recommend doing this so quick after the surgery, and after the 2 weeks I went for a checkup and even the orthopedic surgeon told me that I was too active. So at the start of the third week, my brother was kind enough to borrow me his smart trainer. What this now meant was that I now had the privilege to try these trainer apps that you hear so much about for the first time. So after searching the web, I realized that most of these apps will cost you a decent amount of money for just using them. Now, not only am I a budget type of guy, but I also believe that if you ride your bike, you should do it outside. Some of these apps did offer a free trial version, but the best you could get from this was about 14 days. So this presented me with the perfect opportunity to test at least 2 of these trainer apps for 14 days each. So the apps that I used was Fulgaz for the first 14 days and then Rouvy for the second 14 days.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got it.
The cool thing about Fulgaz is the realism of the scenery. During the 14-day free trial, you have full access to the app with different routes of any distances or elevation that you might prefer. Every ride is recorded by a cyclist doing the actual ride. They have certain requirements you need to meet for a recorded ride to be featured, like for instance the type of bike, computer that you're recording the data with, and the video needs to be recorded in a specific quality and aspect ratio and blah blah. You can do training rides as well as a wide variety of routes from around the world. If you feel the need for some more motivation while doing a training ride using the Fulgaz app, you have the opportunity to activate a bot. This bot's name is Bernard, I think is how you pronounce it. You can activate him in the settings and you can set up how strong you want him to perform.
Cause I'ma live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I don't lie at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning.
So while you're riding, you can see how you're measuring up to Bernard, and maybe this will push you to do a little bit better yourself. Some of these routes are really breathtaking, and you have options to go from road rides to gravel rides to even some single tracks. So while I was using Fulgaz, I did experience some issues. The first thing was the accuracy. The best thing about using a smart trainer app is the realism. So it should feel as close to an actual ride with your bike on the trail or road, for example. What I noticed on some routes was the elevation was sometimes slow to react, or even sometimes it would show uphill but you'll be pedaling as if you're going downhill, or vice versa. The second issue I experienced was that some of the rides would freeze on me. They would freeze for different periods and eventually carry on. but if the freezing occurs, it would continue right through to the end of the ride. This would then, for example, turn an hour ride into a much longer ride. And sometimes, if you only have a set time to exercise, you would choose your ride according to that time frame. You have the option to download a ride or route, and I found this would solve the freezing problem. So the problem could have been my network. I'm not too sure about that, so I wouldn't, bust them on that.
Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side, PCH, country limit. I don't need a guide, follow lights, take me where I wanna visit. Are you alive? Or just breathing? Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side, PCH, country limit. I don't need a guide, follow lights, take me where I wanna visit. Are you alive?
Now Rouvy is a very similar app to Fulgaz, but while doing your training ride, you have an animated avatar showing off as you ride. Your display is also different in the sense that it looks more like computer graphics mixed with some real views. You have a graph in the left hand corner showing you your climbs and descents, which will show you a light shade if the gradient is relatively easy, and a darker shade where you can expect to put in more work. Before you enter a ride, you can see how many other people are also in that exact same route. And you can see where they are on the route while you're doing the ride. I found that this was a similar but slightly more motivating experience than Bernard on Fulgaz, because you're actually riding with other people, and while you're doing your ride and you come close to another person, you actually see their avatar and you have the ability to pass them. So that's just a little more motivating in my opinion. Now, just like Fulgaz, Rouvy offers you a full version of the app in the 14-day free trial, which means that you can access any route with whatever distance or elevation you may prefer. I had no issues while using the Rouvy app. But if I had to complain about at least one thing, I would say that this is probably not the best app to use with your phone, because a phone display is very small and you've got stats and you've got graphs and writing all around, which is just a little hard to make out. I'm assuming this won't be a problem for most, because most people will probably use like a computer monitor or like a flat screen TV.
Just always staying on the move, I'll go all night, if that's just what I got. Care about what you can't afford. Memories are in what you explore. So just don't be ignored. Go ask for more. Go ask for more. Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side, PCH, country limit. I don't need a guide, follow lights, take me where I want.
So there you go. This is probably not the most in-depth look at these two apps or training apps in general, but I hope that at least it shares a little bit of knowledge on the subject. As I said before, I prefer going outside and riding my bike, but sometimes unforeseen circumstances brings you to a reality you did not expect to find yourself in. And in my situation, I was just happy to be able to train and be active while my body was not ready to be active at all. So that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Till next time.
I don't need a guide.